This is Corey Wong, expert rhythm player. This is Noel Rogers, expert rhythm player. And can you work out what they are both doing? If you look at the mechanics of their strumming hand, it's moving like a pendulum up and down. Mastering this pendulum is probably the most important strumming skill for late beginners and intermediate guitarists. Now, I found that most guitarists who have played for a number of years believe to some extent that they've mastered this. It's just strumming. But I found that more times than not, they can't do it nearly as well as I think they can. Today I'm going to show you how to develop an independent pendulum strumming arm, a simple way to test if you have an independent pendulum strumming arm, and also two really powerful creative ways you can use to twist this technique to create interesting strumming patterns, including a technique from the funk master himself, Corey Wong. Step 1. First, we need to take you back to the beginner stage. I'm sorry, but this is an important step that most self-taught guitarists miss. The first strumming song I teach absolute beginners is Riptide by Vance Joy. Running up to the riptide. I'm not a singer. We're just going to focus on the first chord in A minor. And any Google search will tell you that the strumming pattern for this song is down, down, up, down, up. But can you tell the difference between how I'm strumming it using the pendulum strumming technique versus how the way that many late beginners or intermediates play it? Yes, if you close your eyes, they're both going to sound exactly the same. So we'll do it nice and slowly. Look at the strumming hand here. The hand goes down, down, it locks into place, and then it goes up, down, up. And locking the hand in place is something we definitely do not want to be always doing. Play with a locked in arm will struggle to make the next step because they're not teaching the strumming hand to become independent, which is super critical. But how do you fix it? Well, instead, if we start by looking at strumming like a mechanical system, the strumming arm should be going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Here's the pattern for Riptide. To keep the pendulum going, we need the arm to go strum, strum, miss the strings, up, down, up. The way I teach my students, which I have found really effective, is to instead teach the pattern of down, down, miss, up, down, up. So with this miss strum, your arm is moving in the motion of the strumming, but not connecting with the strings. And this is really important to create the pendulum and create strumming independence. So that's how you fix it, and soon I'll show you how to do this in more complex situations. But how do you test that you're doing it? Well, this is super easy. You just film yourself strumming on your phone, turn the volume down, and see if the arm is doing the pendulum. If it is, your strumming arm is acting independently and you're doing it right. If it stops, you are over-controlling your strumming arm and you need to keep practicing that miss strum. Riptide had an 8th note strumming pattern. The pendulum arm went down, up 4 times, so we'll split the bar into 8 strums. And the good news is there's only one of the main pendulum speed for today, 16th notes, where the arm goes down, up 8 times. This is a pendulum arm playing an 8th note strumming pattern, and this is a pendulum arm playing a 16th note strumming pattern, which will be twice as fast. So for a strumming song, you need to determine which speed your arm is going to go. So let's look at Good Times, which has an iconic 16th note strumming pattern. Good times. I often see late beginners and intermediates struggle on this type of pattern, as they can't work out where they should be doing the up strums or the down strums, and it all just kind of falls apart. To solve this, you just need to be able to look at the tab and work out where the strums go in the pendulum arm pattern. For the first bar of Good Times, the strums go here. And this seems simple enough, and it becomes really easy if you can understand what these symbols mean, as they tell you the rhythm of when to play the notes. And this is one area that self-taught intermediates struggle, because often they've never learnt what these patterns mean, and learning rhythmic patterns is not taught that much, and it's certainly not sexy. This pattern is down, up, down. But these patterns are the language of rhythm, so understanding the basics is important. It's an area that a lot of guitarists can get a lot of value from understanding better, so I would spend a little time researching this yourself or find a teacher to help you. As a quick cheat sheet in my free PDF in the video details today, I've broken up these 16th note patterns to help you understand better how to strum them. You can also see on the tabs today this symbol, which means a down strum, and this symbol, which means an up strum. So the pendulum strumming trick is the foundation, and you need to be able to master both the 8th and 16th note pendulum before you can take on the next level. It's important to point out that you're not always going to be using the pendulum technique, as Corey Wong is showing here with a mixture of techniques, but you need the ability to switch it off and on when you need. But the best music or art takes the foundations of things and messes around with them. So here's some cool, fairly simple ways that you can break the pattern. The first way is by mixing 8th note and 16th note pendulums. This is Moving to New York by the Wombats. You can see the guitarist here has a pendulum arm going. But here he does something interesting. His arm goes double speed. If we look at the tab, it's mostly an 8th note strumming pattern, so the arm moves at the 8th note rate. But then there's a little 16th note fill, so the arm moves into double speed. And this is a very kind of 2000s, 2010s indie rock trick. And after that 16th note fill, it goes back to an 8th note rhythm. Pretty cool. One thing that intermediates instinctively understand, even if they've never learnt it, is that down strums are more aggressive than those sissy up strums. Down strums define heavier sounding music, whether it's punk or metal. Even if you're not playing harder styles of music, you can take advantage of this trick of down strums being more aggressive as a creative way to accentuate beats. This is Disco Ulysses by Wolfpack. Cory Wong is a funk god who has mastered the pendulum. If you look at the tab for Disco Ulysses, it's 8th note, so the way you'd strum it with the pendulum would be... But Cory Wong doesn't do that. He does it all as down strums. He's making a conscious choice here to use down strums to add an accent on the offbeat, and it creates this subtle but very powerful disorientation, because when you're listening to it, your ear struggles to understand where the strong beat is or the on beat. Brilliant stuff. But guitarists who've been playing for a number of years often really struggle with basic timekeeping, and the best ways that I've found to improve this is covered in this video.